Yo guys, what's up? So today I'm going to be trying to make another tier list video since the last two did incredibly well. And today we're going to be trying to do the best stands in Jojo tier list. So it looks like we have a lot of stands here. We have quite a few. Obviously this is, I believe, parts 1 through 6, but I haven't really looked at it too much yet. So it might be all the parts. Fair warning, I have not read part 7 or 8, and I'm going to exclude part 6 because it's not animated yet. And I don't want people to get spoilers or anything. So I'm just keeping this for the anime onlys. If you want to see a part 6 tier list, let me know, I'll do that. But I'm just going to be doing parts 1 through 5 right now. So yeah, the first stand we're going to start out with right here is, I believe, I can't really tell what this is, but I believe this is this from parts 1 through 6? I can't even tell. Let me zoom in there. Oh no, that's part 7, isn't it? That looks like part 7's art style. It looked like one of the it looked like the one from part 5, Black Sabbath, but it's whatever. This one, Shujika Joestars, I believe that's Shujika. Her stand, I don't know the name of it, but it makes her turn invisible. I think that's kind of a garbage stand, especially for a baby. I'm gonna put her in D tier just because of the fact that, I mean, she's a baby and she's invisible. What's she gonna do? She hasn't really done much. There wasn't really a stand fight. It was just Joseph and Joseph kind of being retarded. And she's getting lost and all that. But when she gets to be an adult, I'd assume that it would be easier for her to control her stand. Next stand is Anubis. This is from part 3. It is the sword that takes control over the user. And I would probably put it in C tier. It's nothing big. It's not a great stand. But it is definitely holding its own ground in most of the stand fights, which I think is really cool. Next stand we're going to go with is going to be Crazy Diamond. Crazy Diamond we're going to be putting in A tier. Oh, by the way, there's an X and an S tier. I'm going to ignore this one up here, so actually I'm going to delete it really quick. I'll delete row, so there you go, S to E, and I'm actually going to change the color of this to red too, because that's kind of a normal S tier. And obviously this one back to orange. So there we go. Not S tier, A tier Crazy Diamond. I think the healing factor is great. I already made a video about Crazy Diamond. You can check it out. It's been one of my most recent videos. So I don't know. You can see what I think about Crazy Diamond there. It's nothing too incredible, but I think it's better than what people think it is. So next stand, Black Sabbath. That's what I thought that was. I mean, you can see how they kind of look similar. Black Sabbath I'm going to be putting in probably D tier behind Shizuka because he requires a time of day, which is really retarded for a stand. He requires a time of day that he can be used, and it's a bunch of circumstantial things. And the circumstantial ones I'm going to have to put in D or E tier. I'm actually going to put him in E tier because he has so many circumstances that he has to follow to get to, I don't know, be usable, I guess. It's the same thing with Dio. So, a couple other stands. What's another stand that I can put up there? Let's put Harvest up there. I'm going to put Harvest in C tier. Actually, I'm going to put him in D tier above Shizuka. Because Harvest is such a garbage stand in my opinion. Because it's not only the Foo Fighters type of army stand, but it's also just the fact that it's Harvest and it takes money. I mean, it was good for what they wanted to do with the fight, but other than that, Shigechi's stand is kind of useless, I'm not going to lie. Next stand I'm going to go with is, I don't remember the name of the stand, but Kira's dad. We're going to put Kira's dad in probably B tier. I believe, actually, I think all he does is get to fly around in the Polaroid. I'm pretty sure that's what his abilities are. But if I'm wrong, I would probably put him in B tier. I'd say probably D because, again, circumstantial. I don't think he is useful at all. Except within certain circumstances, obviously, which he was in that one part. Next stand I'm going to go with is Echoes, Acts 1 through 3. I wish they split this one up, because 1 through 3 combined is kind of a hard thing to put anywhere. I'm probably going to put it in A tier behind Crazy Diamond, or maybe even in B tier. I'll probably put it in B tier. Just because of the fact that Koichi is definitely smart and he uses it in good ways, but if somebody like Okuyasu had that stand, it would not be that good. And I don't really want to judge it based off of the fact of who the user could be. I want to actually base it off of like the user and the stand itself, right? I think that overall Echoes, whatever the dub name is, I can't remember what it is. Did I say something else besides Echoes? Did I say like Reverb or something? I don't even know. But Echoes Act 3, I think, should be in a solid B tier under Crazy Diamond because it's not too good and it's not too bad. It's a pretty basic stand. Next stand we're going to go with here is Purple Haze. Purple Haze I'm going to put in C. Actually, I'm putting him in B. Honestly, I should put him in A tier above Crazy Diamond because of the fact that he can poison anybody within whatever the meteor radius is. It was a really good stand, and I wish that I could have seen more of it because Fugo only had one fight in the entire part, which really sucks because I did like Fugo as a character too, but Araki was gonna make him a traitor, which, I mean, he kind of was a traitor, but like make him an actual legitimate traitor, like he was gonna do something against Passione instead of just leave. So the next stand that I want to talk about, let's do Golden Experience base form. Golden Experience base form is one of the stands that I think is overhyped to an extreme extent. I'm going to put him in B tier because of the fact that all he does is create life and change things to make life. I don't think that Golden Experience is viable other than in certain circumstances, like the ones that you see in Part 5. Now, obviously, Giorno is very big brain for a 15-year-old, and that makes Golden Experience base form very good. Now, I think that if anybody else had a Golden Experience base form, it would be probably D tier, but I'm going to put him in B just to keep safe for now. I think Golden Experience base form is a great stand, but not as good as it could have been. I don't know. I'm really picky about Golden Experience. I think it's kind of overhyped, but I think B tier is a good place to put it. Now, Tonio's stand, I don't remember what the name of Tonio's stand is, but I'm going to put it, honestly, I don't remember a lot of the names of the stands, but I'm going to put it in C tier behind Anubis because it's not really viable. It's not really circumstantial either, though I guess it is, though, so I might put it in D. I just think that his stand is kind of boring. Not really basic, but boring. It's kind of normal to have this kind of stand. I don't know if he could do anything outside of the Tony restaurant, because the fact is that his stand doesn't it live in food or something? Or I'm not sure what the circumstances are for his stand exactly, because we haven't really seen it outside of Tonio's pizza parlor pastaria thing. But I think that it could have the potential to go into B tier if we saw more of it. I just haven't seen enough that I can put it anywhere higher than that. Now the next stand I'm going to put up there is Emerald Splashu, Hermit Purple. I almost said Hermit Purple. Hierophant Green. Hierophant Green I'm going to put an A tier above Crazy Diamond. I think Hierophant Green is one of the best stands in JoJo, but I don't think it deserves S tier just because of the fact that it's a range stand, and it can't really do anything besides Emerald Splash, besides the barriers. And now it does have a lot of things going for it, which being like the barriers are insane. The only reason that Dio lost was because Kakyoin didn't know that he could stop time. If Kakyoin knew that, he could have easily avoided Dio, but because he was put in that circumstance, that's the reason why he died. And now I think Hierophant Green is one of the best stands in JoJo's also because there are a lot of stands that couldn't beat the 20-meter radius Emerald Splash. And there's actually a video about this. I don't know if I can find it or not, but it's a video where this guy basically says, oh, who can beat the Emerald Splash, the 20-meter radius Emerald Splash? And it was like 1 or 2 people, maybe. And I think that's really interesting to think about because Dio was just put in this really good circumstance, and that's why he won against Kakyoin, which I think is pretty fortunate for Dio, not as much for Kakyoin, obviously. Now, the next stand we have here is the one that, I'm going to think of her name, the one lady that has all the nails, and it's like the magnetic stand. I'm going to put it in C tier below Anubis because of the fact that it is kind of circumstantial. Am I saying that right? Is that the word? I don't know. Like, you have to really be in the right circumstance. It is really situational. I'm just going to say situational from now on. It is a really situational stand in the fact that it has to have metal. You have to be prepared to do all these different things. I think that the stand is obviously good for the situation that they were put in, but I don't think that it would be anything great to beat Golden Experience Requiem or anything like that. So I think I would just put it in C tier for now. I, again, haven't seen much of it. There's a lot of these stands you don't see very much of, that's why there's so many. But I think overall, C tier is a safe place to put it in. Now, the next stand I want to put up there is this boy, Stray Cat. Stray Cat I'm going to put in C tier, top of C tier. And the only reason why I'm putting it in C tier is because it's not so much situational as it is the fact that you have to tame it and that you have to use the bubbles correctly. Now, I made a video about the hand recently, which goes in detail over how Okuyasu could have used it to put his erase marks inside the bubble. So let's say if he wants to erase something, he can put the erasing thing, like one of how his right hand, if it touches something, it erases. Maybe if he touched the bubble or put the touching thing, like, I don't know, isn't it like a gas or something? If you put the gas inside the bubble, then maybe it could erase something. I think that's something that could potentially happen. But something like Crazy Diamond wouldn't really benefit much from it because of the fact that it's Crazy Diamond, it can heal stuff. It might be able to send over a healing orb or something. But for the most part, a lot of these stands couldn't use it, like Koichi's probably couldn't. A lot of these other stands probably couldn't use it as well as something like Killer Queen, or obviously the hand, if that were to be possible, because I don't know if that's possible. Now the next stand I want to go over, I'm not sure, is this Yellow Temperance? I'm going to have to zoom in on that. Is that Yellow? Yeah, Yellow Temperance. Yellow Temperance I'm going to put in C tier above Anubis, because of the fact that it's not situational, but the user is very retarded. He could have done so much more with his stand, but because of the matchup and because of how stupid he is, he's not stupid, but he's not the smartest stand user either. So I think that C tier is a safe place to put him. I think that's where I'm just going to leave him. Now the next one I'm going to put is Heaven's Door. This is going to be a controversial pick. I'm going to put an S tier. I think Heaven's Door is one of the stands that doesn't get talked about enough when we talk about OP stands. Sure, Golden Experience Requiem is insane and all, but Heaven's Door is literally the world over heaven without the world. It's the ability to rewrite anything. As seen in the Rohan OVAs and in part 5, the first episode where Koichi speaks Italian, Koichi didn't learn Italian before he went to Italy. He's just like, yo, Rohan, hit me up with the pages. And then he just like wrote in Koichi that like Rohan can do anything he wants. He can make anybody immortal. He can do anything he wants with his stand. Which is why I think Rohan is one of the only people that are okay to have the stand. Somebody made a video about that too. But I think that Rohan's stand does not get talked about enough. And I think that it needs to get talked about more when we talk about overpowered stands, because it can literally rewrite anything. He can do pretty much anything he wants to, with a few exceptions of that one stand that attached to his back. I think he couldn't rewrite anything on there, and he had to do the dance thing. But I think overall, Heaven's Door does not get talked about too much, and it needs to get talked about more when we talk about overpowered stands, because this thing can beat Goku. Like, I genuinely believe that this thing could beat Goku. I think that if Rohan, I don't think Rohan can write in himself, but if he could, that would be insane. If he can rewrite anything he wants to, he can beat nearly anybody besides the world over heaven. And that stand isn't really canon, I guess, so we can't really match it up against that. But in theory, we could. Magician's Red, I'm just going to put in C tier above Stray Cat. And that's just because I think Magician's Red is just a fire. It's just fire. Like, that's what it is. It's fire. No, obviously Abdul uses it very good, but very well, the powers, but I think it should just be in C tier for now. Highway Star, I think I'm going to put Highway Star in... Oh, did I lose it? Highway Star in C tier. Below Magician's Red, because pretty self-explanatory in this one. I mean, he's Highway Star, he's situational. But he can use other people for his own strength, as in, like, sucking them up. If the fact of the matter, like, if he didn't have his injuries, I think he could have beat Josuke, but that's just what I think. And obviously, the injuries, I don't know what the whole story is with the injuries and all that, but yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is, I don't know how I want to do this, but there's Killer Queen. Is that Killer Queen Part 8 or something? Because that doesn't look like the same art style. But what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to do, I don't know if there are separate ones for Killer Queen and Killer Queen with Bites the Dust and Sheer Heart Attack. But for now, I am going to put, this is Base Killer Queen, by the way. This is what I'm referring to as Base Killer Queen. Base Killer Queen, I would put an A tier above, no, probably, honestly, yeah, above Purple Haze, because of the fact that he can explode anything. It's literally the hand, but a smart person is using it, and it has less value. I think that Okuyasu's stand has just greater range and greater, I wouldn't say range. See, Kira is like Snake, it's like Solid Snake with his stand, right? He can just explode anything. You know, like his moveset in Smash, how he can just like throw grenades, which I don't know would be something like Stray Cat, where he can plant C4 and blow it up. That'd be like touching the door. He can do pretty much all of that, and I think that's why it's a super viable stand. But at the same time, I'm again referring this to as Bites the Dust. I'm going to put this in S tier, because if he messes up, he can just go back. Now, obviously, that's not always the case. Somebody has to talk about him, but it gives him an extra advantage, which just pushes him up to S tier, I think. And I don't think that this thing could contend necessarily with Golden Experience Requiem, because I'm just gonna put him up there really quick. Golden Experience Requiem, if I can find him. Golden Experience Requiem, we're gonna put at top of S tier. I think this is a pretty self-explanatory one. I'm not really gonna explain it. I think everybody knows why it goes in S tier, but. Killer Queen Bites the Dust doesn't really contend with, I was going to say Killer Queen Requiem, with Golden Experience Requiem, but I think that it is an interesting match to, you know, match up, see if, who would win. Obviously, Golden Experience would, but I don't know, I'm just curious. Abakio, Sand Moody Blues, C tier. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm actually going to put it, like, below Stray Cat, because of the fact that it's situational. And it's not really an offensive stand, it's just an informational stand. It's a stand to find out information, if you will. Which puts it in C tier. Though I do love Abakio. That's the only super action tattoo I have, actually, is Abakio and Moody Blues. So, I do like Abakio and Moody Blues. Now, Trish's stand, Spice Girl. We are going to put in D tier. Actually, no, I'm going to put it in C tier. To be honest, it has potential, so I'm going to put it in B. Bottom B. I think bottom B is like a safe place to put it in, right? There's so few stands that have this happen to them where they're good, but they're not seen. Because Trish gets, what, one fight in the entirety of Part 5? I want to see more of this stand. This stand is super interesting, and I need to know how it works, right? I think the super interesting thing about this is the fact that it can make anything soft, and depending on the situation, this can be really good or really bad. Now, a really good situation would be, and I'm not going to use actual examples, but let's say there's a stand that, like, can go through soft surfaces. Like, I guess one example might be Crazy Diamond if, on the worst side of things, right? Because he couldn't beat up the ground to make walls. That's one ability that he couldn't use anymore. But at the same time, I think he could win. I just think if there's a stand that can go through soft materials easier, it would be easier to make, easier to beat, I guess. Something like Notorious Big, if Notorious Big had an actual user instead of just being the blob of a stand it is, it could have probably beat Spice Girl, I'm not gonna lie. So with that, I'm just gonna put Green Day in. Honestly, I gotta remember what Green Day's abilities are. Because Sekko has the other. Sekko. I can't remember what Sekko's stand name is. Because Green Day is Chocolatos. I believe Green Day is the one that can poison. Or no, that's Sekko's stand. Green Day is the one that can like make the mold. So I think Green Day should be put at bottom B, because it's an insane stand. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. To be honest, I'm probably gonna put it in front of Echoes and maybe even Golden Experience, because of the fact that it can literally destroy cities. Because if Bruno and Giorno and Mista didn't do anything about that situation that happened, the entire city would have just self-destructed. So I think that that's a really good stand, and I think that the user is just so much of a psychopath that he doesn't care. He will do anything to get his victory, which I think is really cool. I think that stand is one of the best stands just because of that. Now, moving on here, I think that's a Part 7 stand, but I could be wrong. I'm just kind of picking random stands here, by the way. Okay, here we go, Mikitaka. Now, here is a video that I kind of want to make, is if Mikitaka is an alien or not. And I'm not going to say anything yet, but I'm going to put him in probably B tier. To be honest, maybe even A, above Crazy Diamond, because of the fact that he can transform into anything he wants to. It is literally Momo from My Hero, but way better because he can look at something. And just like, because Momo has to know the molecular structure and all that, this man can just look at, like, I don't know, anything he wants to, and he can become that. He, like, looked at a pair of dice, and he's like, oh, well, there I go, that's me. Like, that's insane. That's such a cool ability. he can turn into pretty much anything he wants to, which is something that you don't really see in stands, right? Turning into anything you want to. I mean, that's like Rohan's stand, but less convenient, because Rohan can make anybody else turn into anything he wants either. But this man can, like, I don't know, if Josuke needs a minigun, he can transform into a minigun. It's such an endless possibility stand that I just have to put in A tier. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit in A tier, I guess. Vanilla Ice, or is it Cream? I think it's Cream. Cream is the stand. I'm going to put Cream in top of B, because of the fact, no, honestly, it's not as much of a world destroyer as Green Day, so I'm gonna put it above a Golden Experience. Honestly, though, even then, it couldn't probably be a Golden Experience. I'm gonna put it there. It's such a destructive stand that the mans could go around, and the only thing that's holding him back from becoming like S tier is if he could grow bigger while he eats more stuff, and that's not been proven or disproven at all. That could be absolutely insane, because he could just walk around the city, like, pretty much eating anything he wants to, therefore destroying the world. I don't know, man. I think it's literally a black hole, which is such a cool stand ability. So I think that can definitely win in most fights. Next one I'm gonna put up there is Hermit Purple. I'll put this in C tier, probably below Magician's Red. I think that's kind of obvious why I put it in C tier. All it's really good for is finding locations of stuff. It's pretty much a video game mini-map. It just finds stuff on, like, wherever it needs to be. You can just be like, oh, well, here you go. This is the place that he's at, or I don't know. It's a useful stand, but only in certain situations, which made it good for part 3. But at the same time, Hermit Purple is just, I mean, with Hamon even, it doesn't do anything anymore. If he had it in part 2, maybe it could have been better, but any part past part 3 is just not gonna be useful to have it at all. Something like, and I'm just gonna put him up there really quick because we're talking about him, Star Platinum with Hamon. Whoa, my guy, like, that would be insane. Star Platinum with Hamon, that would be just incredible. Now I understand why Joseph didn't teach Jotaro on the gang Hamon. It would take too long and all that. But just think of how cool that would be if he had that time stop with Hamon. I think that'd be really cool. Now I put Jotaro, or I guess Star Platinum, in S tier, and this is end of part 3, Pinnacle Star Platinum with time stop of, I believe, 9 or 7 seconds. That's a really good stand, and I think it really does contend with Killer Queen, because he literally beat up Killer Queen within 2 seconds. So I think Punchy Punchy gets an S tier. Now I'm gonna be doing 2 more stands and then ending the video, making a part 2. It's because of the fact that it's going way over here. Like, there's a lot more to cover, and I just want to make this might be like a 3-parter, because there's so much stuff that I still want to go over. And the next one that we're gonna choose right here is Kunamu, I believe, or Kunum, or I know it's Oingo Boingo. I'm trying to remember from the song. He's just like Kunamu, so I think it's like Kunamu. I don't know. I think that's a Japanese pronunciation, so like Kunum maybe, or I don't know. I'm gonna put him at top of D because he can definitely do damage, but it's so situational. It is such a situational stand, where it was literally meant to be a gag episode. I'm honestly gonna put him at bottom D because it's literally changing your face. That's all he can do, and that's such a garbage ability. I think it's not like bad, but think about it this way: if he tried to help out Dio with something, like, it wasn't the only way they got in by changing their face, like, or his face, like, I don't know. I don't know how Dio hired them. I don't know how Dio hired a lot of his people. Like, I don't know. I think that his face is just, it's not a great ability, to be honest. And then the last one I'm going to put up here for now is the Emperor. Emperor I am going to put above Crazy. No, honestly, I don't know where I'm going to put Emperor. Probably in B. Maybe below Vanilla Ice or even below Echoes. Because it's a gun. It's literally Mista's stand with, I believe, a faster reload time. Because the bullets are the stand. Or maybe it's a slower reload time. I'm not really sure what the difference between Mista's stand and Whole Horses are, but I assume Sex Pistols obviously is living sentient beings, so Mista has more leeway than Whole Horse just having the, I believe it's 6 bullets. 6 bullets. Like, the gun is the actual stand, whereas Mista's, it's the bullets that are the stand. So if you think about it this way, Misa's weakness is if he loses his gun, the bullets can do nothing pretty much. But I guess they could probably figure out something, like, I don't know, kick up a pebble or something. But Whole Horse's stand doesn't require a gun, because it literally is a gun, so he can just shoot, but the thing is he can't reload as fast as Mista. So I'm gonna put him in a bottom B, and that's pretty much where I'm gonna leave it for now. If you disagree with any of these picks, let me know in the comments, because I don't know, I could be wrong on any of these, but I think this is just my opinion. This one I think just doesn't get talked about enough, so yeah. The next episode will be out very soon, maybe even tomorrow if I feel like it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.